Brothers, how y'all doing this Sabbath day? Good. All praises, all praises. Lot to go over. I'm going to continue the series that I've been working on. I'm not going to cut that short. Like, I know some of you are new, so just take notes. And if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. That's my motto. That's how we was brought up. They go over the class. Oh, you didn't get it? Shame on you. Just study your notes, and it'll come to you one year. Let's open up today's. Get Ezekiel. Who's reading for me?
Riverdale got you, Bishop.
Riverdale?
We got you, Bishop.
All right. Riverdale is in the house. All praises. Go to Ezekiel 9. If I forgot to bring this out last week, I forgot. You know, you do a class and then you listen to it or somebody will ask you a question and you'll be like, damn, I forgot to bring this part out. That happens quite a lot when you do classes. Read Ezekiel 9 and 4.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So that's the men that's keeping the commandments. That's the mark, so they don't get killed. Read on. Here's the part I want to get to.
Verse 5. And to the others,
he
said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite.
Smite means kill. Go ahead.
Let not your eyes spare.
Don't spare him. Go ahead.
Neither have ye pity.
And don't have no pity. Go ahead.
Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women.
Riverdale was squirming. We know over that part. But my question, it ain't a question. I'm going to tell you the first part of that verse, as Amaziah. Read that again.
Slay utterly.
No, and to the others.
And to the others, he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite.
So the part I want to show you is when it says in mine hearing. The reason he says in mine hearing, what happens when somebody's smiting you or killing you? What are you doing? God wants to hear people scream. He wants to hear men scream, old people scream, old women scream, babies scream, and women. He wants to hear them scream. So that's all I want to do. I'll just add that to last time's notes. Scream, be scream. Let's go. So today's class, we're going to deal with Revelation chapter 6. But we're going to open up with Revelation. This part I don't have in my notes, but it just popped in my head, so I'm just going to look real quick. Go to Revelation 5 and 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals.
So we've done most of the seals, so today we're going to complete the seals, all right? But that ain't the end of the series. So before we get to Revelation 6, I'm going to preface Revelation 6 with the precept chapter of Zechariah chapter 6, and we're going to start there at verse 1. Zechariah chapter 6, and read verse 1 for me.
The book of Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 1. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass.
So Zechariah sees a vision. He sees chariots. Chariots, what Esau calls UFOs. We call them IFOs, identifiable flying objects. They flew between 2 mountains. The 2 mountains, here it is, Deuteronomy 27, verse 12 and 13. Deuteronomy 27, verse 12 and 13 explains the 2 mountains.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 12. These shall stand upon Mount Gerizim to bless the people when ye are come over Jordan, Simeon and Levi, and Judah and Issachar, and Joseph and Benjamin. And these shall stand upon Mount Ebal to curse Reuben, Gad, and Asher, and Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali.
So what I want you to see, when we went in the wilderness, there were 2 huge mountains, and God he split Israel up. He said, these tribes go on this mountain to send forth the blessings, and the rest of you tribes go on the other mountain, and you bring forth the curses that we're in if you break God's commandments. So let's go back now to Zechariah 6 and 1 again.
Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 1 again. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains. And the mountains were mountains of brass.
Go ahead.
In the first chariot were red horses.
So the first chariot, Zechariah says, sees a red. Go ahead.
And in the second chariot, black horses.
The second, he sees black horses. Go ahead.
And in the third chariot, white horses.
Mm-hmm.
And in the fourth chariot, grizzled and bay horses.
Write this word now, pale. Grizzled and bay goes into pale horses. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Then I answered and said unto the angel that talked with me, what are these, my Lord?
What are these, my Lord? Go ahead.
And the angel answered and said unto me, these are the 4 spirits of the heavens, which go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth.
So write this. The 4 spirits are the first 4 seals which are opened in Revelation 6. The 4 spirits are the first 4 seals which were opened in Revelation 6. Read on.
Verse 6. The black horses which are therein go forth into the north country, and the white go forth after them.
Now the north country, write this down, the north country is making reference to is Babylon the Great, or North America. Give me the precept, Zechariah 2, verse 6 and 7.
Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north.
So the Lord is telling Israel to flee from the land of the north. This is North America. Go ahead. This is saying the same thing that Revelation 18 and 4 says, where it says, how does it go? You know I can't quote it. It says, come out from among her, my people, with mixed reference to Babylon. So read that again.
Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord.
Meaning flee spiritually, mentally. Go ahead.
For I have spread you abroad as the 4 winds of the heaven.
Because he spread us worldwide. That's the 4 winds of the heaven. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion.
Now he says, deliver thyself, O Zion. Go ahead.
That dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
That dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. Now somebody may say, wait a minute. The daughter, isn't that the ancient Cushites? No, it's not. Give me that Psalms 137. The last few verses.
The book of Psalms.
You know what I want, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
The book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon.
See what it's calling Edom? The daughter of Babylon. This is the so-called white man. Go ahead.
Who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast rewarded us.
So when we go back to Zechariah 2, verse 7 again. Verse 6 and 7. Read it again.
Zechariah 2, verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north.
The land of the north, that's what you want to highlight. Land of the north, North America. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the 4 winds of the heaven, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
That Zion right there is mainly, listen good, that Zion is mainly Judah. We're going to get into, we went over that last week. I believe we touched on it. All right. So from there, let's go back to Zechariah 6. And verse 6 again.
Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 6. The black horses which are therein go forth into the north country, and the white go forth after them, and the grizzled go forth toward the south country.
That's going into South America. Go ahead.
And the bay went forth.
I'm going to give you the precepts on that in a few minutes. Go ahead.
And the bay went forth.
What verse you at?
Verse 7.
Go ahead.
And the bay went forth and sought to go that they might walk to and fro through the earth. And he said, get ye hence, walk to and fro through the earth. So they walked to and fro through the earth. Then cried he upon me, and spake unto me, saying, behold, these that go toward the north country have quieted my spirit in the north country.
That lets you know that Israel would be in the north country. The bulk of Israel would be in North America. Give me that in Zechariah. Give me Isaiah 14, 12, and 13. That's what I want. Isaiah 14, 12, and 13. What does it mean? He quieted our spirit on this side. Quieted our spirit. They that went towards the north country has quieted my spirit. And that means shut us up. Read that. Isaiah 14, all I want is verse 12 and 13.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
That's right. Lucifer is the so-called white man. I know you've been taught that Lucifer is the spiritual demon, but Lucifer here is talking about the so-called white man. Go ahead.
How art thou fallen from heaven?
Now, you know what? People get stupid about that. They go, see, he was up in the sky with God. Let me show you something. Give me Lamentations 2. I think that's it. I'm shooting from the hip. Verse 1 and 2 about the Israelites. They explain this fall from heaven.
Lamentation chapter 2, verse 1. How have the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel?
So he cast the Israelites down from heaven. Does that mean we was flying in the sky? No, it does not. It means we were at one time the top nation on earth, and we fell to hell, meaning captivity, a low estate. Everybody got that? So let's go back talking about the white man, your friendly neighborhood white man.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
So it's in the same context. Lucifer is going to fall from heaven. Remember Revelation 17? Babylon is fallen, is fallen. Y'all remember that? It's talking about the same thing. See, you got another precept there. Read on, Cap.
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning meaning what? You ever see the Statue of Liberty? Because Lucifer means light bearer, and she's in the midst of the base. She's holding up a torch, meaning she's a light bearer for the world. You want knowledge, you want wisdom, you want anything, you come here. That's what America's message is. Read that again.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Which didst weaken the nations. Come on.
For thou hast said in thine heart.
Now this is what Lucifer, the so-called white man, says. Babylon, go ahead.
I will ascend into heaven.
So Lucifer, which is Babylon, when you read up to verse 4, it says, I will ascend into heaven. Meaning they will concoct a way to get up in the atmosphere. Concoct and create a way to get up to space. Go ahead.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
1969. They did first moon landing. You know, people get stupid. They go, oh, they never went to the moon. It's impossible. Do you realize, my jailhouse Negroes, you realize, my brother, that there is something around the earth's atmosphere that prevents you from passing it? Nothing can ever. So I'm looking at the dude. I said, did the white man create airplanes? Yeah. So I said, so you mean this other part in the Bible about space is fake? He goes, yeah. So you stupid as hell. Go sit your black behind down somewhere. Why Trump creating a space force now? Because you can't go up there? You make no daggone sense. People are stupid. Stop listening to black people. Go ahead.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
That's what I wanted right there. Go ahead, read that part again.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Meaning North America. So what did he do when he said sit upon us? He conquered us in North America. That goes, remember we just read in Zechariah 6? They have quieted my spirit in the land of the north, meaning they conquered us. That's what that's going with. Let's go back.
Zechariah chapter 6, verse 8 now. Then cried he upon me, and spake unto me, saying, Behold, these that go toward the north country have quieted my spirit in the north country.
So that they conquered us. From there, let's go to Revelation 6 now. Let's get to where we won't get to. Revelation 6 and verse 1.
The book of Revelation chapter 6.
Actually, go back to 5 and 1, then we get to 6 and 1.
Revelation chapter 5 and verse 1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals.
So there were 7 seals on this book. So now when we go to chapter 6 and verse 1, read.
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see.
So he opened one seal. He said, come and see. And let's see what John the Revelator saw here on the island of Patmos.
Verse 2. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
So this white horse here went forth conquering and to conquer. And how many crowns did he have on his head? He had a crown, a one. one crown. This is going into, I'm going to explain, the rise of Babylon. It begins with Esau, establishing of Babylon the Great in the north country. Watch this. Give me John 1, verse 36. But I want, because this is what I forgot. Somebody said in Revelation 6 and 1, you see the part where it says, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals. This is the precept for the Lamb, because people get dumb as hell. Christians make me sick. These damn Christian commentaries are dumb as hell. What is the Lamb? Read that.
John chapter 1, verse 36. And looking upon Jesus as he walks, he saith, Behold, the Lamb of God.
That's what we wanted. So in Revelation 6 and 1, the Lamb is talking about Christ. So when we get to Revelation 6 and 2, back to the horse now. And I saw and behold a white horse. White generally symbolizes righteousness, right? So you have many Christian commentaries that say this might be Christ. This is not talking about Christ, because Christ is the one that opened the first seal. This is going into a man that would portray himself as righteous, conquering. That's what it's going into. Watch this. Give me Revelation 13 and verse 7.
The book of Revelation chapter 13 and verse 7. Mm-hmm. And it was given unto him.
That him. We're going to see about this him here. Go ahead.
To make war with the saints.
The saints. Let's see who the saints are. Give me that Psalms 149, please. It was given unto him. What you're going to find out is the Bible is redundant. Revelation is very redundant. The same thing the New Testament says is often said in the Old Testament as well. It's always said in the Old Testament. Read that.
Psalms chapter 148, verse 14.
We want to see who the saints are. Go ahead.
He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel.
So the children of Israel are the saints. So when we go back now to Revelation 13 and 7.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 7.
I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. Let me see. I'll try and slow it down for some of y'all.
And it was given unto him.
We want to know about this him. Go ahead.
To make war with the saints.
To make war with the Israelites. Go ahead.
And to overcome them.
And to overcome or to conquer them. Go ahead.
And power was given him over all kindreds.
And not only did he overcome and conquer the Israelites, he had power over all kindreds. Go ahead.
And tongues.
And tongues.
And nations.
And nations. Was that the whole verse?
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to Revelation 6 again. So when we read about the white horse, write this down. The white horse goes back to Zechariah 6, verse 3, when it talks about the white, what did it say? The white horse there. Did it say chariot or horse?
No, it's a horse.
Horse. Let me look. Go get it. You know I'll be forgetting. It said horse? Oh, I forgot. Look at it again. You know I'm getting old. Zechariah 6 and 3. Yeah, and in the third chariot, white horses. Yes, okay. So this white horse goes back to the same white horse of Zechariah 6, verse 3, wherein this man would go forth and conquer. Now, you might say, why does it say white? Give me that in Matthew 24. There's something Christ warned us about. So they were, remember what Zechariah said? Remember it said they went forth into the land of the north. All right? Where we at? What did I say? Go Matthew 24?
24. You didn't give me a verse yet.
4 and 5.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 4. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
So now, Officer Noah, give me the first clip, the Spanish conquest. The Spanish conquest. And we're going to start at 2 minutes and 38 seconds. You got that? Write that down. 2 minutes, 38 seconds. And we're going to go to 5 minutes and 12 seconds. $238. You can start there, it's fine. And we're going to go to 512.
The New World was called America by Amerigo Vespucci. Vespucci was another explorer who traveled along the coast of South America. He was the first one to understand he was not in Asia, but in a new land.
Pause
he
it
named
right
it
there.
after himself,
Sorry.
and so it became the America.
So remember I was talking about, it talked about in the South Country, because remember when they started their thing, they were going through the South Country first, conquering the Incas, followed by the Mayans and Aztecs, and they were working their way up to the North Country. Plate. We're going to 512. Oh,
Yes.
and it also, this clip also lets you know America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, Psalms 49:11. Go ahead.
More than just spices. The Spaniards were excited with the new land they had discovered. The explorers had different interests. Some wanted to become rich. Others wanted
you
to
see them
spread
down
their
there praying,
religion.
right?
And yet,
They all came allegedly in the name of white man Jesus. That's what they did. They came in the name of Jesus, conquering. Go ahead.
interests. Some wanted to become rich. Others wanted to spread their religion. And yet others were simply interested in making more discoveries. The Queen and King of Spain wanted silver and gold. Thousands of Spaniards sailed to the Americas, hoping to get what they wanted. Explorers and conquerors.
Conquerors.
The Spanish explorers wanted to go as far as possible and find new lands. Nothing stopped them. They soon explored the Americas from Florida to Argentina. Conquistadors like Hernan Cortez and Francisco Pizarro didn't want to explore.
The word
They wanted
conquistador
to
is
conquer
Spanish
the
for
land and
conquerors.
own it. They wanted money and gold for themselves and their king. They fought until they won. Cortez and the Aztecs. When Hernan Cortez arrived in Mexico, he met Montezuma, the king of the Aztecs. Because the Aztecs believed the god Quetzalcoatl would return one day, Montezuma believed the Spaniards were gods. All was peaceful for a while. Later, other Spaniards arrived who wanted to replace Cortez. At the same time, some natives rebelled. A war began and Montezuma died. Many Aztec people died from smallpox, a disease the conquistadors introduced. Those remaining fought against Cortez. Even though Cortez only had 600 soldiers, he defeated the Aztecs. Cortez began a new government in the name of Spain. 100 years after the conquest, the Aztec population had decreased from 25 million to 1 million.
Damn. Stop right there. Give me Habakkuk chapter 1. So this white horse where he had a crown on, went forward, and he had a bow, conquering and to conquer. Give me Habakkuk 1. Let's start at verse 6. Habakkuk chapter 1, because the prophet Habakkuk spoke about this very same thing.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans.
Now the Chaldeans are the upper echelon or the elite of the ancient Cushites. But guess what? This goes beyond the Cushites. This is a metaphor for the conquering of the Americas. Like it says in Deuteronomy 28:46. Remember what it says? Give me that. Let's just read it, because I know some of y'all are new. So I'm going to just take a few steps.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So the curses of Israel going into captivity, being conquered, would constantly happen. Now give me the one in Job where it talks about the words of God are double in wisdom.
Going to Job 11 and 6. If I can get there. The book of Job, chapter 11 and verse 6.
Pay close attention. Go ahead.
And that he would shew thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is.
So God's wisdom, his words are double in meaning to what is written. So you'll read something, some of these things have double meanings. Was that it?
Yes, sir. No, there's more. Know therefore that God exacteth of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth.
Right, so God's dealing with, we all need to be jacked up and put to death, but he ain't dealing with us. He ain't dealing with the Israelites that way. Oh, we better be grateful for that. Let's go back to Habakkuk.
Habakkuk.
Yeah.
Chapter 1 and verse
6.
For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans.
So the Chaldeans is going into, it's a metaphor for the white man. It's a similitude for so-called white man, Esau.
that bitter and hasty nation,
That bitter and hasty nation,
which shall march through the breadth of the land,
which shall march through the breadth of the land, from south towards the north. Go ahead.
to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs.
Didn't the conquistadors do that? Yes, they did. You better believe they did this thing. Go ahead.
They are
That's why Esau's called the daughter of Babylon. Go ahead.
They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Their horses
That
also,
goes like another scripture says, the pride of their heart has deceived them. Go ahead.
their horses also are swifter than the leopards,
And yes, they came with horses. Go ahead. And they were swift. Go ahead.
and are more fierce than the evening wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far.
Meaning Spain. Go ahead.
They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat.
It's letting you know their symbol. Their symbol of Spain was the eagle. Go ahead.
They shall come all for violence.
They didn't come for spices. God says they came for violence, to conquer the 12 tribes of Israel. That was their mission. That was their goal. And they were very successful. Go ahead.
They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind.
Right, because they came from the east. Go ahead.
And they shall gather the captivity as the sand.
That's what the proof. They gathered the captivity. Go ahead.
And they shall scoff at the kings.
They scoffed at all the kings that what they found and came across. Well, this in Spanish, what they call it, the caciques. They didn't give a damn about Montezuma, Atahualpa. They didn't care. They scoffed at them. Go ahead.
And the princes shall be a scorn unto them.
Mm-hmm.
They shall deride every stronghold.
Whatever stronghold we had, like when you look amongst the Incas and the Mayans, they had many strongholds. They tore into them things. Remember when they came, these guys came with armor. Esau came with armor. They thought these dudes was invincible. Who was a guy that said, let's drown one of them and see if he's a god? You remember his name? Ebba, you remember his name? I believe it was in Puerto Rico. What is his name? I can't hear you. Atwe. He said, let's see if this guy, if they are gods. Let's drown them with all their armor on. They held him underwater. They said, he might get up. I don't know. Let's just hold him down a little bit. Let's see. He's storming. Just keep on holding. They said, if he get up, he going to kill us. He's a god. I want to test. Then the last bubble came up, and you ain't seen no more bubbles. They said, he's not a god. They're not gods. They went crazy going after Esau. But even then, Satan was rolling with Esau. Satan said, don't worry, I got this. Damn. Go ahead.
They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust.
They shall heap dust, confusion,
and take it.
and take it.
Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God.
His God, who was the God he came with? Anybody know? Caesar Borgias as Jesus Christ. He said, we gonna credit our God. The white man is God. Put his face up so y'all know what I'm talking about. I know some people right now, be careful of Latinos now. Just hurry up. Just do a quick flash. Yeah. Look, see, it has already begun. They're doing the sign of the cross, imputing this his power unto their God. This is what they did. They gave credit to their God. This is not the God of our people. Look at Abiel over there doing the sign of the cross. Security! All right, get it off the screen. Hurry up, get it off. So when it says, then shall his mind change, because that's when read that part again.
Verse 11. Then shall his mind change.
After he done rape, robbed, pillaged, destroyed, he said, come to Jesus. Jesus loves you. This I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little man, y'all know that song. I know the women know that damn song. See that? Read that again.
Verse 11. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God.
What verse was that?
That was verse 11.
So let's go back to Revelation 6, please. And verse 2. So we understand why we went to all these various precepts to explain verse 2.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 2. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
Read.
And when he had opened the second seal,
Now we're going to discuss the second seal. Again, the first 4 seals is going into the rise of Esau in establishing Babylon. Go ahead.
I heard the second beast say, Come and see.
Come and see. Go ahead.
And there went out another horse that was red, and the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
So this red horse, which goes with, go back to Zechariah 6 and 2. Zechariah 6 and 2, please.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 6, verse 2. In the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses.
So we're dealing with the red ones now. So we go back now to Revelation 6, verse 3 and 4. Remember what it said? It said the red horse, that's very key, takes away peace from the earth, and it said he had a great sword in his hand. Is that what it said?
Yes, sir.
He had a great sword. There was given unto him a great sword. So now let's see why it says red. Give me Genesis 25. We're going to read 21 to 25.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 21. And it says, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red.
The first came out red. Go ahead.
All over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
They called his name Esau. That's what we wanted there. Now, remember what it said. Let's think back now what it said. It said about this red horse that he would take away peace from the earth and he would have a sword. Give me that in Genesis 27, 38 to 40. Listen to the prophecy that was given to Esau regarding the sword.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice, and he wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live.
And by thy sword thou shalt live. That's how Esau lived. That's how he got into the fatness of the earth. The fatness of the earth means the best places. As the dew of heaven means they would be everywhere. But you got to ask, how did they get everywhere? Like, how did they get into South Africa? They didn't get there by voting. They pillaged, raped, robbed, and murdered. They came with the sword. How did they get in Puerto Rico? With the sword. Wherever they went, they got there by the sword. It was not voting, had nothing to do with democracy. It was all war. Give me that next precept for that. I believe it's, because I ain't getting my notes. I think it's Micah 2 and 1.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
It was in the why? Because that was the blessing given unto them. Go ahead.
And they covet fields.
They covet fields. Go ahead.
And take them by violence.
They take them by violence.
And houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house.
So they oppress a man and his house.
Even a man and his heritage.
And now give me, watch this, Psalm 55:21. These are just various precepts about this red horse with the sword that would take away peace from the earth.
Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
That's Christianity. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Go ahead.
But war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart. He said, come to Sunday school, come learn Jesus. Then you got a sword in your neck. You're dead. If people got to saying in the word, you ever hear this? They say, they came with the Bible and we close. How does it go?
They came with the Bible, and when we had the land, and when they at the end of it, they had the land, we had the Bible.
Okay, no, we gotta clean that up. Right. They came with white Jesus.
Right.
We closed our eyes, and then when we opened them, we had white Jesus, and they had the land, because we always had the scriptures. Okay, when you look at the artifacts in Mexico, remember those? I forgot the name of those rocks. Help me out here. Those two big boulders with the commandments written all in them. Los Lunas.
Yeah.
Don't say it in Spanish. Can you help me in English, bro? He says in Spanish again.
That's what it's called. Los Lunas Decalogue Stone.
Oh, see, I understand Decalogue stone. Thank you, Abiel. Where they had and it were written in ancient Hebrew. And the brother, who was with me in Puerto Rico? You was with me? You was with me, Zeph. Remember the brother that found those old relics? All those artifacts written in ancient Hebrew. Okay? And all the Jewish scholars will not admit that those are authentic. And we told them if they admit that's authentic, Puerto Rico's history going to change forever. That's what it's all. We don't know. We cannot tell. Damn demons they are. So, from there, did you read Psalm 55?
Oh, I didn't finish it.
I'll read it. Well, y'all was something to say something.
So being that stone exists and it has that information on it, and you see how they're trying to cover that information up, they don't want that information to come out there. These are the Edomite scholars saying this.
Yes.
But then you have Negroes that's saying the same damn thing.
Yes.
They're following after their master. That's what it really is. That's the same thought with that mess that they're trying to speak about Northern Kingdom.
Yep. You're right. Absolutely right about that. Read that again.
The
Psalm 55.
Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Yeah, that's Christianity.
But war was in his heart.
War was in his heart. Go ahead.
His words were softer than oil.
That's Christianity. That our God loves us all, every one.
Yet were there drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords. That's the blessing God gave Esau. You got to ask yourself, what does it mean, by thy sword thou shalt live? Meaning they were given the art of war. Thank you. I'll give you an example. China was the one they say discovered, although it was the Moors, but they give credit to China regarding gunpowder, not gunpowder, what's it called? The original name. Firecrackers. What do they call them? Fireworks. Fireworks. They said Esau saw that and said, Satan said, you can make that into weapons. Whatever Esau sees, they said, we can make this into weapons. Even when you read Genesis, I believe it's either chapter 4 or 5, remember Cain's descendants? They saw iron and they said, we can make these into weapons. When you read Genesis, it tells you the history of how all that started with the wicked. They're the ones that came up with that. Tubal-Cain, thank you, that's his name right there. Let's go back.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 4 again. I'll
Yeah.
read verse 4 again. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should.
What I like? It says power was given unto him to take peace from the earth. You got to think about that. Remember in Revelation 13, if I'm not mistaken, it just popped into my head. Might be verse 1 or 2. It says something very similar. Verse 2.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
And all this is talking about Esau. All this is Esau. This because the Bible talks about the 7 heads and the 10 horns. But I'm not dealing with that today. We touched on it already. But go ahead. I just want to show you this bottom part of this verse. Go ahead.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power.
That's what we wanted to get. And the dragon gave him his power. Go ahead.
And his seat. And great authority.
Satan, I'll tell you, Satan rolled with the devil. Esau rolled with the damn devil. You got Haitians talking about voodoo. We gonna pray to the devil against you. The white man goes, I am the devil. You ever notice that voodoo don't be working on Esau? Esau, what the hell is this?
Yeah, Bishop. There was a prisoner there called Aristide.
Aristide.
Yeah, he practiced voodoo. But when that white man come and get him overnight, kidnap his simple behind, bring him to Africa, why their voodoo did not work for him?
What was the guy we met in Liberia? General Butt Naked. That dude was expert in voodoo, but it did nothing against Esau for some reason. Esau just laughed.
Yeah, but Bishop, what you say is true. You remember Esau was giving him gun. I mean, Esau
Yeah.
is the will devil. Send
Exactly.
these little soldiers, which is butt naked, to do his thing.
Back to Revelation 6. Where we at, Cap?
Verse 4 again. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him.
You know, I like to take peace. There's another piece that just popped in my head. To take peace from the earth. Give me the, because remember we read in Habakkuk where it said, and then his mind shall change. And then Esau will make like they love you. It's all good, but then you end up dead. There's a precept in Daniel 8, verse 25 that talks about Esau there. Y'all keep going with this peace. Esau always planning something. They're always 5 steps ahead of black people.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many.
He destroyed many nations by peace. Oh, we love you. God loves you. Here's some foreign aid. We love you. Then you get death. You want to know how you got jacked up and in poverty like that. You're a friendly neighborhood white man. Let's go back to where we're in Revelation 6, please.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he had opened the third seal,
Third seal now. Go ahead.
I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
The pair of balances. So now this black horse goes with Zechariah 6, verse 2. We read this at the beginning of class.
The book of Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
In the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses.
So these black horses, when we go back to Revelation, now deals with the dark nations. The dark nations, all what they term as black people, primarily in Africa. Go back to what you was reading that again.
Yes, sir. Verse 5. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse.
Now I could go to many black precepts, but y'all know them already off the top of your head. Go ahead.
And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
So this man that sat on this horse, this man that sat on the horse is the same red man that was in the verse before. Is the same man that went forth conquering. Give me Leviticus 19. I want to explain the pair of balances. Leviticus 19, verse 35 and 36. This is what God said to Israel, to the Levites particularly.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 35. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
Balances represent doing no unrighteousness in judgment. Go ahead.
In meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances.
Just what?
Just balances. Just weights. A just ephah and a just hin shall ye have.
So those are all measuring things when it comes to money and weight. Everything God was telling us, we have to be just. We must have a pair of just balances. Everybody understand that? Was that the end of that verse?
No, sir. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Right. So God told us to have just balances. So when we go back to Revelation 6 again, now we have a better understanding of what this pair of balances is talking about. Read 5 again.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts saying, A measure of wheat for a penny.
So now they're telling you, just wait. A measure of wheat for a penny. Go ahead.
And 3 measures of barley for a penny.
And 3 measures of barley for a penny.
And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
And don't do unrighteousness when it comes to oil and wine. So now watch this. This man, let me tell you about this man, this white man. We've discussed it many times before. They will conquer a nation, take it over and then change this whole verse, those two verses. The black horse, write this down, should have said it earlier. The black horse represents world economics. That's what it's going into. Being just with economy. But this white man, as we've seen, is not just. He goes to Sierra Leone, for example, where all your diamond is, or Ghana, where you get majority of gold. Then he says, you know what? Your money is garbage. Your money compared to our money is worth, how much was it in Sierra Leone? Who was with me? Sierra Leone. 10,000 equals $1 American dollar. Remember we was counting all that damn money at Hannah and y'all up? Money was up to here. You think we was rich. No, it was $3. Man, that's what Esau does. They'll take all, and they'll take trillions of dollars from Sierra Leone, diamonds in worth of diamonds, trillions. Then say, not only is your money garbage, but we're going to give you foreign aid. We're going to give you $1 million as a loan. As a loan. You got to pay it back. But they're like, how can we pay this back? We have nothing. But Esau, remember, it said he conquered, he take away peace from the earth, and he got the sword. The black, they have no power, and they can't say nothing. You better suck it up or we'll shut everything down. Get a mic. You ain't got a mic down there?
He set up policies where the people, the natives, cannot even manufacture their own resources.
Right.
They have to outsource that, and then when they sell it back to them, they have to pay for that. And being that they can't pay for it, then they have to take out a loan, and the loan automatically has debt attached to it. Mm-hmm. So that's how the countries constantly go into further a vortex of death, debt, a vortex of debt.
Hey, you know what's so funny? Last year, if I'm not mistaken, they give Sierra Leone $80 million. Sierra Leone got diamond, gold, oil. What else they got?
They got a lot of stuff.
Bauxite.
Yeah.
They
bauxite
only
is
give
that
them,
tin like they make these cameras from,
yes,
the metal in these cameras.
They got $80 million from the U.S. But France took $500 billion a year out of Africa.
Right. Exactly. That's what
$500 billion a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then they give them 18 million. And they let them borrow 18 million.
Exactly. So when it comes to the world economy, they're very unjust. This is what God is saying would be in these last days. Give me that in Lamentations 5. We're going to read 1 through 4 for an example. So the angel was telling this black horse to be just, but this man is not just when it comes to the dark nations. Read that.
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Our land is turned to strangers. Strangers have taken our lands. Go ahead.
Our houses to aliens.
God calls the white man the real aliens. They're busy talking about the Mexicans are aliens. Oh, no. Oh, no, Mr. White Man. Au contraire, mon frère. You are the real aliens.
That's right.
Did I say that right, Malachi? Yep. I practiced all week. So, aliens, they're the real aliens. Go ahead.
Verse 3. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
Because they were killing us. Go ahead.
We have drunken our water for money.
Do you see that part right there? We have drunken our water for money. When Spain took the land, they said, you want a drink of water? Pay me. Pay me. You want to drink water? You can't imagine this. I'm going to tell you what they did in, not Brazil, Bolivia. It's a documentary, Zeph, you sent it to it, called Even the Rain. They taxed the people because they said we can't afford to buy a bottle of water. So they was collecting rainwater. That come from the heavens. The government was taxing them. And it caused a whole damn revolution out there of rioting. How are you going to charge people to drink rainwater? But that's what Esau, and that's all Esau down there. Not all of them, I'm talking about the government. Read it, It's what? It's illegal here to do what? To capture rainwater? See, the white man's the devil. Let me be quiet.
Read it again.
We got you on video saying that, nigga. I ain't saying nothing. Yeah, read that again.
Verse 4, Lamentations 5 and 4. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us.
Our wood is sold unto us. This is going into economics. See, we look at it during the time of the conquest and think it's nothing, but that's a trickle effect all the way up to today. Nothing has changed. It just got more and more clever. Okay? Give me the next precept for that in Deuteronomy 28:43, I believe it is. He shall lend to thee. That one.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. Thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee,
He lends to us money, foreign aid. Go ahead.
and thou shalt not lend to him.
We can't lend to him.
He shall be the head,
He shall be the head nation.
and thou shalt be the tail.
We are the tail. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go back. Go ahead. Hold on. Yeah.
It said, the stranger that is within thee. Meaning that he came into your space.
Right, right.
Read it again.
Verse 43. The stranger.
First of all, he's an alien. The alien comes among us and does what?
that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
So he came into our house and got above us in our house. Go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low.
And thou in your own house shall come very low. What else to say after that? He shall lend.
He shall lend to thee.
He in your house is lending to you with your resources, with your wood, like with your water. Our water is sold unto us. Our wood is sold unto us in our house. Foreign policy guarantees this. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not lend to him.
And you shall not lend to him, even though it's your house, your resources, your bauxite, your gold, your diamonds. You ain't setting none of that.
Exactly. Now I'm going to show you an example of that. Give me the next video called, I love this movie. If you have not seen, it's on YouTube. If you have not seen End of Poverty, I ask that you all see it. End of Poverty. Let's go to 32 minutes and 52 seconds. We're going to go to 32, 52, 32, 52, 32, 52. Go back a little bit. It might be hard, but let's try and catch it.
Some of the settlers
32, 52. I mean, does it 50? Yeah, 52. Right there. And Noah, we're going to go to 34, 25. Or we're going to look at this 2 minutes. 34, 25. I want everybody to listen good.
those challenges are still there. Some of the settlers, when they moved from this country in 1964-65 up to 1970, now they benchmarked their operations in Europe, and therefore we became the producers of raw materials, and they were now the agents for marketing and processing. Therefore, all the value addition of our crops were done away from Africa. Because like roasting of coffee, just to pick that particular crop, is done away from Kenya.
He's going to talk about coffee and tea for a moment. Back it up a few seconds. He said, I'm just going to pick these two off the top, coffee and tea. Right. Right, it's raw materials in its raw form when you pick it. Go ahead.
Operations in Europe, and therefore we became the producers of raw materials, and they were now the agents for marketing and processing. Therefore, all the value addition of our crops were done away from Africa. Because like roasting of coffee, just to pick that particular crop, is done away from Kenya. In fact, you are aware that Germany, which does not have a single bush of coffee, is the largest exporter of coffee.
Pause that.
Tea
Did
is
y'all
the
hear that?
same.
He said Germany does not have a blade of a bush, nothing in Germany of coffee, but they're the largest exporters of coffee. Go back. They're the devil the Bible speaks of. I can't say it enough.
So let me get this straight.
That's what you call
They
theft.
went over there, they took the coffee, and they sell it back to them.
Yes, and they pay them pennies on a bushel. Then when they process it, now and coffee will be like what, $5? Now, you got Starbucks, $5 a damn cup. But meanwhile, they pay the people pennies to pick that bushel. That's
Bishop,
where the coffee comes
I think the Clintons do. Remember what the Clintons do to Haiti with that rice?
from. Yes, right.
They destroying the rice thing in Haiti. Now what Haiti have to do? Buy from them, because they always said that in a third world country, you got bread, oil, rice. Those are the things that people use every day. Those are the things that's make a country fall into deep poverty, because those are everyday things. So what this Esau did, they go to this country and destroy that. So now you have to buy it from them.
Exactly. Go back a few seconds, Noah. I don't want to miss
away from Africa. Because like roasting of coffee, just to pick that particular crop, is done away from Kenya. In fact, you are aware that Germany, which does not have a single bush of coffee, is the largest exporter of coffee. Tea is the same. The tea that you consume in Sudan, you take it first to Europe, then Lipton brings it back to Sudan and a number of other countries in Northern Africa and a number of other countries.
One of the legacies of
Was that it?
colonialism
No, keep
is
going.
that
What I
the
say
poor
we're going?
countries of the third world
Go back.
are
No, pay attention to me. Go. What's that? That's not you. Was that Enoch? Who should I yell at? Hosea? One of y'all got to yell at. I need a name. I'll say Abiel. Abiel! All right, we going to 34:25, but I want to get this Edomite. Listen, I want y'all to hear what he's saying. Go back to when he starts. Go ahead.
To Sudan and a number of other countries in Northern Africa and a number of other countries.
One of the legacies of colonialism is that the poor countries of the third world are continuing to export raw materials, and the countries of Europe and North America produce and export finished products. This stems from a practice that was developed long ago, and the intention was to make sure that the countries of the third world remain backward and remain dependent and are never.
Yeah, they do that to make sure these nations can never rise up above the poverty level. And if you think about it, they said in Africa, Esau only allows 12 countries to manufacture small weapons. Only 12. The rest, they said, you're not allowed to make weapons. I'm in my own country. You're going to tell me I can't make weapons. Yes, we're going to tell you you can't make weapons. And if you do, we're going to cut you off from the world and you're going to die in poverty. That's what Esau does. Go back to the devil. Go back. Go back to where you started again. Ain't no talk about this in my church. Your church is the devil.
Sudan and a number of other countries in Northern Africa and a number of other countries.
One of the legacies of colonialism is that the poor countries of the third world are continuing to export raw materials, and the countries of Europe and North America produce and export finished products. This stems from a practice that was developed long ago, and the intention was to make sure that the countries of the third world remain backward and remain dependent and are never able to develop. So to this day, they are continuing to survive on the export of raw materials. That has always been to the disadvantage of the country exporting the raw materials, and it gets worse each year.
You can't make this stuff. You know, when we were in Sierra Leone, they said the literacy rate in Sierra Leone, I might be wrong with the number, I can't remember off the top, but it was something like 60% was illiterate. Imagine if you're poor and you got to constantly, your kids can't go to school. Because not only do they got to pay to go to school, they got to go out and work to bring a little bit of money to the house. So Esau, like he said, it's been from the colonial times even until today, to this day. Now give me the next clip. Now I don't want y'all to forget the thought. Go back to Revelation 6. We're just going to read that again. Revelation 6, 5, and 6. Read that again. I don't want to forget the thought.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
So he's telling about just balance. But this black horse, this man over the dark nations, they're very unjust. Now, give me the next clip. Okay, give me the next clip. So this black horse deals with world economy, the world economics. And they deal unjust with the black nations, especially Africa. Give me, go to 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 39 seconds. Write that down, Noah. No, end of poverty. End of poverty. What are you doing? I'm sorry. Yeah, stay right there. End of poverty. I apologize. End of poverty. 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 39 seconds. 1 hour, 16 minutes. Go back. Keep going. 16 minutes. Oh, I wanted, what I say, 39 seconds. Yes, leave it right. You can leave it right there. I don't care. I know you're going to get it. We're going to go to 1:22, 1 hour and 22 minutes. You got that, Noah? All right. Listen, no, wait. Because the thought may be, what if we don't want to play ball? We don't like the way you're dealing with our nations, our country, and let's say we want to rebel against you in your world economic policies. They got levels. Let's see what happens. Go ahead.
If we don't like what a democratically elected leader of another country is doing, for example, opposing the exploitation of oil in his country.
Remember the Bible says, see thou hurt not the what? The oil or the wine. Go back. We're going to talk about oil. You don't want to play ball with us. Go ahead.
Over the globe's resources.
If we don't like what a democratically elected leader of another country is doing, for example, opposing the exploitation of oil in his country, someone who looks like me will walk into that president's office. I had the job at one time. Walks into the office and says, and now I just want to remind you that I can make you and your family very, very rich if you play my game, our game. Or I can see to it that you're thrown out of office or assassinated if you decide to fulfill your campaign promises.
Yeah, pause right there. You got to pause. When America sets people, see, I'll be thinking America's this holy Christian, just love. No, they are the, when they laugh at black people in gangs in Puerto Rico, y'all not the real gangsters, my man. Esau's the gangster. They run the world. Go back. You got to hear what the devil says. He said, people that look like me will pay you a visit. And you go look at a little sucker white man. You little sucker white man, he's going to say, and he talk with his white voice, hey, we can make you very, very rich. And you think you whoop his behind, and maybe you can. But he says, someone like me will come pay you a visit. You might even be assassinated. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bishop.
I can make you.
Yeah, Bishop. Willie, he's involved in that.
He said he had the job at one time.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
He played the role, so he's telling you from experience. He did it. Go ahead.
You and your family very, very rich if you play.
You gotta go back. Come on, Noah.
Game.
You missing the whole part where he says somebody that looks like me will pay you a visit. Go ahead, right there.
I had the job at one time. Walks into the office and says, and now I just want to remind you that I can make you and your family very, very rich.
No, that's
if you play my game.
No, go back, Noah, to the beginning.
Or I can see to it that.
Oh God, 1:16:39.
Yeah, don't listen to Deacon from Atlanta. You in New York right now, man. Listen to New York.
Right there, just stop. Play. Listen what the devil says.
If we don't like what a democratically elected leader of another country is doing, for example, opposing the exploitation of oil in his country, someone who looks like me will walk into that president's office. I had the job at one time. Walks into the office and says, and now I just want to remind you that I can make you and your family very, very rich if you.
When he say, I can make you and your family very, very rich, that went over people's head. Because what people don't realize, he's saying, because we've already messed up your ability to use your own resources. So they're going to take that away from them first and then say, we'll give it back to you and make you very, very rich if you play our game. Damn.
Play my game, our game. Or I can see to it that you're thrown out of office or assassinated if you decide to fulfill your campaign promises. And usually it's said a little more subtly than that because there may be a tape recorder listening. But they get the message because every one of those presidents knows what happened to Arbenz of Guatemala and Allende of Chile and Roldos of Ecuador and Lumumba of the Congo and Torrijos and on and on. The list is very long.
Pause that. We were just talking about Patrice Lumumba of the Congo on Patient Saints a few weeks ago. They paid his best not his best friend, but a friend of his, to assassinate him. That's what they did.
And he mentioned, and he said that they'll go in and they'll speak to the person that's quote unquote democratically elected, and because they mentioned the man Torrijos. Many of y'all might not know who that person is. That goes into Panama. That Panama situation, that documentary about
it's on YouTube.
The Panama deception. That's what they're talking about there when they said Torrijos. And the people loved Torrijos. He was a little brutish when he started, but they said, but he promised to deal right with us. So this guy said that, he said, if you decide to fulfill your campaign promises against what we want, we will kill you. And that's what happened with Torrijos. His plane just mysteriously crashed into a mountain and all of that.
And you can add Hugo Chavez to that list, and you can add Gaddafi to that same list. You can add Gaddafi to that list, and you can add Hugo Chavez to that list also. And many, many, many others.
Exactly. Go ahead. Where we going to? Where we going? I forgot. We're going to 122. All right.
Of presidents that we have had thrown out or assassinated. There's no question about that. And they all know this. So we perpetuate the system that way.
Wait, I'm sorry. I keep pausing it. I keep pausing it. Notice at the beginning of that, he said, we can make you and your family very, very rich. Or we can get you thrown out of office or assassinated. Think about the African leaders, a lot of them. And you got to ask yourself, they got all of this. Why don't they just, because I hear people complain about African leaders. He's explaining what they do down there. They do it all over the world, but I want you to think about Africa. They tell, because people go, why are their leaders so covetous? They tell them, take the money, let us come in and do whatever we want. We're going to take what we want, but we're going to make you and your family rich. And if you don't do it, we say, you'll disappear. So you got these leaders under fear of death. You got to think about it. Feel under fear of death. This is why there's no unity in Africa. They make sure there will never be a united. They hate, what did J. Edgar Hoover say? The worst thing to America is black unity. They hate that thing. They say it's never going to happen.
Hey, Bishop, another thing too that you got to cover on this is that these people, damn, I forget my thought. Go ahead, Deacon Yausa. Go ahead, Deacon Yausa.
Well, essentially, when he said that we can make you very, very rich if you play our game, this game is practiced all over.
Didn't Antiochus Epiphanes, the Greeks, do that with us? They said we can make you and your family very rich.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Right. That whole thing with the Iraq and that thing that went back several years ago, the same thing was said to the officials over there. They said, you can either accept our carpet of gold or we will bury you under a carpet of bombs.
Right. Hey, Hugo Chavez, I got to talk about him for a second because you mentioned him. Remember he went to D.C., United Nations. He said, and Bush had just finished speaking. Chavez walked up and said, I smell sulfur. The devil was just here. The devil was standing right here. And a white man was sitting in order and said, oh, we got to get this guy. He's calling us the devil. And he started when oil was going, the price of oil was skyrocketing here. Yep. Hugo Chavez said, I'm going to go to America. I'm going to go through all the ghettos and give them oil at it was Citgo, right, very cheap price. The white man didn't like that thing.
Nope.
He was mad. You got your thought back?
Yes.
I helped you out.
You notice what this guy is talking. He's not saying Democrat or Republican. You guys notice that, right? You know why he's not saying that? They all in it together.
He said a democratically appointed official, meaning the people got to vote for some BS thing. That's all he talking about.
So he's saying, because you notice in America, this is what they do. You got a Republican president, he says something different. And then you got a Democrat president come in, he says something different. No, they didn't say nothing different. You know what I call it? Good cop, bad cop. That's what they do. Obama was in office. The Democrat played the good cop. The Democrat always played the good cop. Now you got Trump, the devil. He playing the bad cop. He start cutting stuff off. I'm going to erase everything. Obama. Listen, Obama was pushing the same thing Trump was pushing. The Constitution of the United States of America. That's what all of them got in common.
When they wanted to get back into Africa, they said, we need a black president whose father or family members from Kenya.
Exactly.
Africa's going to love us.
Yep.
And that was all strategic, my man. Y'all slept on this thing. That was a chess move. This is chess, not checkers, niggas. We don't know what they're 5 steps ahead of us. Where we at? What time stamp? Okay, we're going 122. Go ahead.
So we perpetuate the system that way. Here you offer from this pocket, you offer a few $100 million, corruption. Or from this pocket, you offer subversives, jackals, to go in and overthrow the government or assassinate the president. And this has happened time and time and time again. Usually the economic hitmen are successful, so we don't need to send in the jackals. But on those occasions when we're not successful, as for me, I failed with Omar Torrijos in Panama and Jaime Roldos in Ecuador. And so the jackals were sent in and assassinated these men.
The jackals is their name for hitmen. Yeah.
He said subversives.
And the literal hitmen. You don't play games. You getting killed.
Right. When he used the word...
You know what they did with Aristide? I'm sorry. They said, you don't follow our democracy. He woke up with a bag over his head. His wife had a bag over her head and had kids. Where they drag him? To Africa. And said, you ain't going to get back and over till you play ball. They could have killed him. And he agreed. Yeah.
So they just
That's when they brought him back.
They terrorized him.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, then people don't realize what after that they put your vice president on because he want to play ball. I'm telling you, that's how they work.
An example of that, comically speaking, is Black Panther. Killmonger was that. He was a jackal. His job was to go in to destabilize the government and so forth. But he was confused and conflicted with his emotions. But it's the same thing. They even put it in movies as well.
Right.
I was used to destabilize countries. Where we at? Go back. I don't want to forget the thought. I know I keep talking. I'm sorry. He was talking about subversives and jackals.
Right.
Go ahead.
For me, I failed with Omar Torrijos in Panama and Jaime Roldos in Ecuador. And so the jackals were sent in and assassinated these men.
In fact, the CIA was the private army of the president, being used for highly dubious, virtually invariably disastrous interventions in other people's countries, starting with the overthrow of the Iranian government in 1953 for the sake of the British Petroleum Company. We declared that the elected prime minister of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, was a communist. The Pope would have been a better candidate. That is to say, he was simply trying to regain some control over Iranian oil assets, and the British wanted him out and talked Eisenhower into doing the dirty work.
We did the same thing in Iraq under Qasem, who was a very popular president of Iraq and decided that he wanted to get more of the profits from Iraqi oil to go to the Iraqi people, not to the foreign companies. So we decided he had to go, he had to be assassinated. We sent an assassination team in the early 60s. It was headed by a young man at the time who failed and got wounded in the process and had to flee the country. That was Saddam Hussein. He was our hired assassin. He failed, so the CIA went in directly and had Qasem publicly executed on Iraqi television.
Right. Pause that. You know how many Americans say, oh, Saddam Hussein, he's evil, he's evil. Y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. The dude's whatever he's doing in his country. What the hell, y'all, black people, oh, he's evil. No. This man just told you he was America's man. Then he didn't want to play ball no more. They said, we got to kill him publicly.
But they use subversives. That's why I want to stress that. They use subversives to set him up. Subversives meaning that they use other ways before they send in the kill squad. Subversives meaning media, foreign policy, different things that lead up to that. If these things don't work, send in the jackals.
Yeah, you notice that why they're doing it publicly is for the other nation to say, for them to tell the other nation, don't mess with me. You see what I just did to Iraq? They make sure you playing ball. That's why they do what they do to the whole Middle East. When they put them, like you just said, Iraq, what's the other dude you just mentioned? Gaddafi. When they did things is to tell the nation, don't mess with us.
No, if you all they just mentioned Iran and Britain and America and the CIA to overthrow the president over there, right? No, when it comes to the oil, what happened in the 50s, the oil was controlled by Britain. Britain was getting like 70% of the profit out of the oil, and the Iran government was just getting a little, like 30%, a small percentage. So what the government of Iran did, he said, listen, this is our oil. We are not gonna let you just come here and just take all our oil and you get all the profits. So they took control of that. And because the Iranian government did that, the CIA worked with MI6, that's what you call them, right? MI6, the British government, and they overthrow the leader of that country, man. That's what they did.
That's what they do. So, go ahead.
And had Qasem publicly executed on Iraqi television and put Saddam's family in power.
Pause. I just thought about something. The last guy that got executed publicly was Gaddafi, right? They did that thing on all the networks. They wanted to show it. Remember, Gaddafi said, we can make our own money. We don't need America. We don't need the EU. We could do it. Remember, he was given whatever oil came. He said, we can divide this money up between the people. You got married. He gave you the starting of, he gave you a house. You had a car. That for you getting married, having a family, that's what the government did. He did that for all of the people there. America was like, this is some BS. We got to stop. And all of a sudden, he became the bad guy. Gaddafi was the devil. We got to go in and kill him. They sent in subversives first. And those subversives, with all those tactics, the people went, idiots, and dragged them through the streets. Am I thinking about the same guy? Dragged them.
Guess who killed him? Another black man. Obama killed him.
See there? Go ahead.
We were talking about gangsters, right? You said this man is the real gangster. And the purpose of doing those kinds of executions is just like Deacon Laba, I think you just said it. They do it so that could put fear on the other nations. The Negro, with his little antics and his little gangs, could do some drive-by and do daytime killing and all of that, and he think he's something. You ain't on the level, on his own people, and he's doing that. He'll do that trying to mimic this real gangster. This guy does global robbery. He do global robbery. We ain't on that level.
Go ahead. We're going to 122.
No question that over the years, the government has used its imperial apparatus for economic purposes, for the advantage of American firms. Perhaps the best examples are the United Fruit Company in Central America, and that is after the overthrow of the government of Guatemala in 1954 by brutal, very brutal means against a small and defenseless country. Over the years leading to civil war, police repression, at least 200,000 Guatemalan civilians have lost their lives. All of this was done because the United Fruit Company objected to some rather modest proposals for land reform. You could carry it on to the CIA's intervention against Allende in order to bring to power probably the most odious military dictator in the Cold War period, General Pinochet. Here the interests were primarily of IT&T Company. They participated closely, that is International Telephone and Telegraph, participated closely with the CIA in financing and funding and plotting the coup against Salvador Allende. Also equally in Chile, the mining interests of the big copper firms, one of the things that American imperial power
Hold
has
on to
long
that
been
for a second. Yeah, that's the same thing going in Haiti right now. Yeah, that because the former leadership, now the new one who's coming in, you have the Arab that was making like 10 million a day with a phone company, electric. So the new guy comes in. No, we got to eat off that. The people is in poverty. You know what they do? They're paying robbers to destroy the country, paying millions after millions. Man, it's the same thing. These people, man, they're like gangster and devils. I'm telling you straight, man. Green eyes and blue eyes, devils.
We want to get a few more minutes on that. Go ahead.
Used in Latin America in order to protect the interest of extractive industries in very poor countries such as Bolivia and places of that sort.
On the very few instances when neither the economic hitmen nor the jackals are successful, then and only then do we send in the military. And this is what happened in Iraq. You know, the economic hitmen were unable to bring Saddam Hussein around. The jackals were unable to take him out. He had very loyal guards, and he had look-alike doubles, so it was difficult to take him out. And so we sent in the military.
Iraq represents an instance of what I've...
From there, just because I made a mention, I'm thank you, Officer Benaya in Chicago. He sent me this thing. I just want to show you about Gaddafi. Because a lot of people here, now he got killed under Obama. Was it under Obama? Everybody, a lot of black people was going against Gaddafi. I want y'all to see what Gaddafi was doing. Because he was trying to unite the continent of Africa and create his own currency to benefit black people. But y'all be listening to white man's media so much. Watch this. Yeah, blow it up big. This is 10 things about Gaddafi they don't want you to know. Now, of course, we're not in agreement with his religion in case somebody be stupid. He was Muslim. That ain't the point. The hell is this? The point is they said he was like evil. He hated his people. He was killing his own people. All that was a lie. That's what they did, right? Go up. Can you read quick, Amaziah?
Yes, sir.
No, go. I don't want you to read that. I want to get to some point. Wait. Start from right there for 41 years.
For 41 years until his demise in October 2011, Muammar Gaddafi did some truly amazing things for his country and repeatedly tried to unite and empower the whole of Africa.
You see that? Ain't nobody talking about that. Go ahead.
So despite what you've heard on the radio, seen in the media, or on the TV, Gaddafi did some powerful things that are not characteristic of a vicious dictator as portrayed by the Western media. Here are 10 things Gaddafi did for Libya that you may not know about. Number 1, in Libya, a home is considered a natural human right. In Gaddafi's Green Book, it states, the house is a basic need of both the individual and the family. Therefore, it should not be owned by others.
Unlike, in America, they own the land. Your house, you got the house, property tax. Go ahead.
Gaddafi's Green Book is the former leader's political philosophy. It was first published in 1975 and was intended reading for all Libyans, even being included in the national curriculum.
So you got married, he got you not an apartment, a house. Go ahead.
Number 2, education and medical treatment were all free.
Wow! You know how much we be paying in Medicaid, medical stuff? You need insurance. What the hell is this? Go ahead.
Under Gaddafi, Libya could boast one of the best healthcare services in the Middle East and Africa. Also, if a Libyan citizen could not access the desired educational course or correct medical treatment in Libya, they were funded to go abroad.
Damn, check that out. Yeah, go ahead.
Number 3, Gaddafi carried out the world's largest irrigation project. The largest irrigation system in the world, also known as the Great Man-Made River, was designed to make water readily available to all Libyans across the entire country.
So you ain't got to pay for it? No, you wouldn't have to pay for it. And he was so evil. This is so evil. Go ahead.
It was funded by the Gaddafi government, and it said that Gaddafi himself called it the 8th wonder of the world.
Check that out. Go ahead. Keep going.
Number 4, it was free to start a farming business. If any Libyan wanted to start a farm, they were given a house, farmland, and livestock and seeds, all free of charge.
Oh, he's so evil. What kind? The guy is just so evil. Go ahead.
Number 5, a bursary was given to mothers with newborn babies. When a Libyan woman gave birth, she was given $5,000 for herself and the child.
That's evil. What an evil dictator he is. Go ahead.
Electricity was free. Electricity was free in Libya, meaning absolutely no electric bill. Number 7, cheap petrol. During Gaddafi's reign, the price of petrol in Libya was as low as 14 cents per liter.
You know what all of this means? That means because they were going to use the proceeds from the oil that they have.
That's what they were doing.
That's right. But the point behind this, it shows you that Gaddafi's mentality was not about using the oil for himself. He was concerned for his people.
Right. And that
was the point. And they said, we don't want that message out here going to nobody else.
Thank you. What's the word? Subversive? Subversives was saying, oh, he's evil. He's taking all the money for himself. The people are starving. Look what he's doing to the people. In America, black people are over here.
Even the people in Panama, they were saying the same thing. They said that when Noriega, Right.
42 cents a gallon, you said?
Yeah. Okay. They were saying they were eating their 3 meals a day. before the so-called democracy came over. He said now they ain't eating one.
Hey, Bishop, by the way, the same thing the blood in Venezuela was doing also. Chavez, he was doing exactly the same thing. So when Chavez was, now you see how the poor in Venezuela is digging into trash can for food. When Chavez was president, they got everything. That's why they love Chavez.
Imagine they sent the jackals after Chavez because mysteriously he had a brain aneurysm and died.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
The dude was healthy. All of a sudden, he's dead now. And then a new guy came in and the economy went whoop down the drain. Now they're eating out of
Because
garbage
he didn't want to
cans.
play. You don't want to play ball with them.
Right. Exactly. Go ahead, Amazon.
Number 8. Gaddafi raised the level of education. Before Gaddafi, only 25% of Libyans were literate. This figure was brought up to 87%, with 25% earning university degrees. Number 9.
You know who tried to do that part right there? Ghana. What's his name? In the 60s.
Kwame Nkrumah?
Yes, Kwame Nkrumah. He tried to do that thing. They shut him down too, moved him to, sent him out. Go ahead.
Number 9. Libya had its own state bank. Libya had its own state bank, which provided loans to citizens at 0% interest by law, and they had no external debt.
Now, you might ask, well, what's so important about that? You know, most of Africa, they have to send money to France's central bank. They got to send a large portion of money to France's central bank. Go ahead.
Number 10, the gold dinar. Before the fall of Tripoli and his untimely demise, Gaddafi was trying to introduce a single African currency linked to gold, following in the footsteps of the late great pioneer Marcus Garvey, who first coined the term United States of Africa. Gaddafi wanted to introduce an only trade in the African gold dinar, a move which would have thrown the world economy into chaos.
Right, because you don't need Esau no more. He said, what the hell is that? Esau would have been mad as, he was mad as hell when he brought this up. Go ahead.
The dinar was widely opposed by the elite of today's society, and who could blame them? African nations would have finally had the power to bring itself out of debt and poverty and only trade in this precious commodity. They would have been able to finally say no to external exploitation and charge whatever they felt suitable for precious resources. It has been said that the gold dinar was the real reason for the NATO-led rebellion in a bid to oust the outspoken leader.
Right. You got to think about, it makes me think about the video when they dragged Gaddafi through the street, bloody, beat the hell out of him and killed that man. Man, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. And Hillary Clinton was cheering. We got rid of that dictator. And then on the street, Gaddafi was evil. Shut the hell up.
You know, when you read about that man legacy right there, I mean, now what you was talking about, how they did him in the street, that's some evil thing right there, man. Then he played the example for the African nation to say you cannot do it. If I can do it, your guys can do it. America despised that thing, man.
Right. Let's go back now. Oh, was that it? We finished that, right?
Hold on, Bishop. You know what was behind it? He made the mistake when he let the French then think all white men are evil. He let the French inside that thing first, thinking that the French is different than the white boy. No, they're all the same race of people. They're devils. That's what they are. But that's what one with Gaddafi, when he let other then think that they all was behind it. Then now when he realized he had opened the door to them, then he said, damn, I messed up. That's why they did what they did to that dude, man.
Let's go back.
Revelation 6.
Yes, Revelation 6. Read that again. I want y'all to, I don't want to forget the thought.
Revelation 6, verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse.
Black horse represents the black nations. Go ahead.
And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
That's when we went to Leviticus, where God says balances represent just weights, and I forgot the wording, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
You realize that the IMF and the World Bank are located in Washington, D.C., right across the street from each other. They the one that control all the world economics, right from Washington, D.C. Okay, and if you don't play ball, play game with them, you are finished. Revelation 13, 16, and 18.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand.
Goes into their policies. Go ahead.
Or
the right hand meaning you got to support it. That's what your right hand represents. Go ahead.
Or in their forehead.
Meaning you got to believe it. Okay, you got to accept it. That's what you do with your mind. Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell.
This buy or sell means business, trade, traffic. And it's talking about major business. It ain't talking about a Negro buying a pair of sneakers. It's talking about world business. See, black people, we don't know nothing about global economics. We think small. The Bible's talking about, in these last days, this man will control world economy. Commerce. Go ahead.
Save he.
17 to go.
Verse
Yeah.
17 again. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Meaning, literally, you got to accept their policies, believe and accept what they say and do. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man.
Number of a what?
Of a man.
This is talking about man on earth. Man, the white man. This is what we're reading about in the first 4 seals. Go ahead.
And his number is 666.
The number of desolation, of perdition, of hell. So we went over that in another chapter. Let's go back. No, give me Revelation 18:11, where it said
sir.
no man might buy or sell. I'm going to show you what it's talking about. I forgot this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18.
Oh, this is going to hear the brothers, some of these Israelite camps. Oh, it means you won't be able to buy a Snickers bar. You got to get a microchip to buy Snickers. It ain't talking about that. Read that, Revelation 18:11.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 11. And the merchants of the earth.
The merchants of the earth are world corporations. That's what it's talking about. They're firms, not Pookie and Ray Ray on the corner. It ain't a candy store. Read it again.
And the merchants of the earth.
The merchants of the earth, meaning they do world business. It ain't talking about you going to the grocery store. Go ahead.
Shall weep and mourn over her.
Over Babylon being destroyed. Go ahead.
For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
No man buying their merchandise anymore. Let's go back now to Revelation 6 and verse 7 and 8.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 7. And when he had opened the 4th seal.
The 4th seal now.
I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse.
A pale horse. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
So this horse represents death, and it says, and hell followed with him. Go ahead. I'm going to get into it. Go ahead.
And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
One more again. Read the verse again.
Verse 7. Verse 7. And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
Pause right there. Give me Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5.
The book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5.
Wait, I want to follow along. Sometimes y'all be reading and I'm not catching it. Go ahead.
The book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine.
This wine represents philosophy. How do we know? Micah, is it 2:11?
Yes, sir, 2:11.
Just get the precept real quick, because I know somebody in the back going, well, how do you know wine is philosophy? What are you talking about?
The book of Micah chapter 2.
You know, there might be an Israelite camp that says that wine means alcohol and tobacco, or something stupid like that. Turkey wings and gravy. Yeah, stay away from the vermouth. Go ahead.
Micah chapter 2 and verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine.
Stop, read it again.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie.
You're walking in the spirit and falsehood and lie.
Saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine.
So that wine makes reference to lying. What else did it say? Because I'm not looking at it. I'm sorry.
Falsehood.
Falsehood. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink. He shall even be the prophet of this people.
So now when we go back now to Habakkuk 2, when it mentions wine here in Habakkuk 2, okay, this wine is going into lies, philosophies. Go ahead. Policies. I like that word in this context. Go ahead.
Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man.
He said, who was this pride man? Remember, God said about the white man, the pride of your heart has deceived you. Go ahead.
Neither keepeth at home.
Does the white man does he mind his business and stay in his own land? No. Go ahead.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
Now, this is what we wanted to get to right here. Who enlarges his desire as hell and what?
And is as death.
And is as death. You accept this man's policies. You follow his philosophies. God is telling us this man is death. What does it say? And this man, what does it say? This man.
His desire as hell.
As hell.
And is as death.
And is as death. Because what happens? Once they introduce whatever it is into your country, like for example, in Kuwait now, they didn't want Esau in there. Because now they introduce, not only did they introduce a form of Christianity, they're celebrating Christmas now. They open porn stores. The people are like, what the hell is this? What have you done to our country? The country goes down, down, down. Spiritually, mentally, morally, it's corrupt. And especially economically. Go ahead.
And cannot be satisfied.
This man, God says, cannot be satisfied. Go ahead.
But gathereth unto him all nations.
Right, because once he destroys your land, he says, now he extends the olive branch. You can come to my land. Your land is destroyed. Your economics is destroyed. You can come to America. Come be a citizen here. We can make you very rich here. It's a land of opportunity. Now all the people that's jacked up, they've been bombed and destroyed. We have no choice. Let's go to America. Go ahead.
And heapeth unto him all people.
And heaps on him all people. That's America. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back to Revelation 7. I think we're in verse 8 again. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, read that again.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 7.
Right.
And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse.
So that pale horse precepts with Zechariah 6, verse 3.
Zechariah 6 and verse 3. And in the third chariot, white horses. And in the fourth chariot, grizzled and bay horses.
See that part, grizzled, that goes into pale horses. Let's go back.
Revelation 6 and verse 8. And I looked, and behold the pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
That's Esau. That's all going into Esau, the rise of the white man. First he conquers, then he takes away peace from the earth, he destroys your economics, and once all that happens, death and hell follows right behind him. Go ahead.
And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth.
Now what's the fourth part? Give me 2nd Esdras 11 verse 39 and 40. Well, you got to remember, this man has conquered the earth. So you go, well, what's the fourth part going into? Read that.
2nd Esdras chapter 11 verse 39. Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts?
They're the fourth beast. That's what it's going into. Go ahead.
Whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them.
The end of the world is going to come through this man. This beast right here, this Edomite beast, the end of the world is going to come through them. And when it says the end of the times, it's talking about destruction of their worlds. Go ahead.
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
Right. The fourth beast, that eagle came. They destroyed, not only did Babylon, who came next, Persia, Media, Greece, Rome. Rome is an extension of America. Let me put that. Rome is an extension of America. Go ahead.
And overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness.
See that? And had power over the world with great. So it ain't, because you read about the fourth part and you go, well, what's the fourth part? Is it just Africa? Is it this? It said they had power over what?
And had power over the world.
Over the world. Okay, what verse was that?
I'm still in verse 40.
Go ahead.
With great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth.
And over the whole compass of the earth.
With much wicked oppression.
With much what?
Wicked oppression.
Was that the end of the verse?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Give me Daniel 7 and 7. It's saying the same thing. Daniel 7 and 7.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7.
2nd Esdras 11 goes with Daniel 7 and 7. Go ahead.
After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
All right, so from there, let's go back to Revelation 6. And I believe we're in verse 9.
Still, verse 9. Right. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. Verse 10.
So these are the prophets and the apostles. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And they cried.
Wait, give me 2nd Ezra to go at verse 9. Give me 2nd Ezra 4, verse 35. Oh, wait, let's read down to 10, then we'll go to Ezra. Let's do it that way.
Verse 10. And they cried, Revelation 6, verse 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
So the souls of the prophets, they speak to the Lord. That's what Christ is revealing here. No, your mama don't speak to the Lord. No, the Lord don't want to hear nothing your mama got to say. These are the ones that was murdered and killed or died following the Bible, following the scriptures. Your mama followed Caesar Borgia. God didn't want to hear nothing she got to say. I'm going to tell you straight. Read that.
2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask questions?
See that? The souls of the righteous speak to God. Though our people that die in sin, God ain't listening to them. They ain't saying nothing. So don't make excuses for your grandma. She always read the Bible, but she was worshiping the devil, though. Oh, God ain't listening to her. Read that again.
2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, How long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward?
See that? So the righteous always talk before the Lord. Okay, so when you die in this truth, all praises. You're going to talk to the Lord. All right, all praises. Let's go from there. Give me Luke 18, talking about a vengeance. So the souls of the righteous ask God, when are you going to avenge us? Christ said the same thing. Now remember, that's in heaven. Christ gave a parable and taught us to pray for vengeance. Read that, Luke 1. Luke 18
Luke 18 and verse 1.
1 through 8.
And he spake a parable unto them.
I know you Christians are going to get mad at this part because you ain't never been taught this in your church. It's blasphemous to even talk about this, but go ahead.
And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint.
Subject matter is prayer and don't give up praying. Go ahead.
Saying, There was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city. She came unto him, saying,
This widow represents the Israelites. The judge, the unjust judge, represents God. Go ahead.
Saying, Avenge me of mine adversary.
So this widow, woman with no husband, she goes to the unjust judge and says, Hey, I need you to avenge me of my adversary. Go ahead.
And he would not for a while.
And the unjust judge, he didn't listen to the widow. He didn't want to hear nothing she had to say. He ignored her. Go ahead.
But afterward he said within himself.
But afterward, time has passed, he said within himself.
Though I fear not God.
Though I fear not God, there's no one above me. I don't believe in it. Go ahead.
Nor regard man.
And I don't regard man on earth.
Yet because this widow troubleth me.
But because this widow, this woman whose husband died, she keep bothering me, asking for vengeance. She keep annoying me in her prayers. Go ahead.
I will avenge her.
I will avenge her. Now watch the breakdown. You might say, how you know that's the right breakdown? Here come the verse.
Lest by her continual coming she weary me.
Here's the point. Go ahead.
And the Lord said, Hear what the unjust judge saith.
Christ said to us now, hear what the unjust judge said. Go ahead.
And shall not God, shall not
the Father
avenge his own elect?
Avenge the Israelites?
Which cry day and night unto him?
Which cry day and night unto him?
Though he bear long with them.
Though he bear long with the Israelites.
I tell you that he will avenge them speedily.
He will avenge them speedily.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?
You know why he asked that? Because some of you don't believe that. You think it's evil to pray for vengeance. That's why he said, well, will there be faith on the earth? Why? Because we got white supremacy in our mind. We think it's evil to pray for vengeance. And it's not talking about pray for vengeance against your brother. It's talking about the other nations, of course. But, like, I'll give you an example. We was talking about this the other day. You ever notice when for a cop, cop kills a black kid and our people's rioting in the streets, right? Who was the mother? And if you notice, watch this. Every time the parent comes out there, they say stuff like, let's all be at peace. Let's just love each other. Let's forgive. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You ever hear black people do? We're quick to forgive. One, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was it Mike Brown's parents who said, burn, the mama went out and said, burn this down. Y'all remember that? Yep. The jackal said, hey, come with me in the back. They said, not only will we charge you and your husband for all the destruction out here, you're going to spend the rest of your time in jail. She had to go back and recant her statement. We're not allowed to say so. Although in your mind, I'm going to burn, I want everything destroyed because your kid has just been murdered. So Christ gave us the solution. Read that precept one more again, that bottom one.
Verse 8.
Yeah, read 8.
Luke 18:8. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, the verse above it.
Verse 7. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cried day and night unto him, though he bear long with them?
You don't think the people, in the Christianity, what's that church in South Carolina where all the black people got put to death by the Edomite?
It was in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, South, yeah, whatever,
South
what
Carolina.
you said. I was just so annoyed at it. You got to think the mentality. They say, we forgive him. That's a slave mentality. All your friends and relatives just been murdered. Then the cops take the dude to Burger King. And you're sitting there going, we forgive him in the name of Jesus. Yeah, what Bible are you reading? Or are you reading? You're listening to Caesar.
Yeah. And South Carolina in particular is slave ports and all kinds of history about slavery down there. So those brothers and sisters that was in that church, man, their mind was on channel 0 for real.
Exactly. They have not been learning the Bible at all. Christ told us to pray for vengeance. Sorry. So at night, we're supposed to ask the Lord for vengeance against our enemies, those that destroyed our ancestors. That's a righteous thing with God, and that's for the living. Now, you know when we dead, we're going to say it again. Hey, Lord, Lord, are you going to avenge us? And the Lord says, not yet. Just wait. Not
Bishop,
yet.
We saw that with Botham Jones' family. That was a mockery, a slap in the face of ignorant black people. For not only the court-appointed officials to hand over a judge, you got the bailiff rubbing the back of the white woman's hair. Mm-hmm. Then you got the brother coming up and giving a hug. And the white man is sitting back saying, great job.
Didn't the judge give her a Bible?
Give her a Bible.
Her Bible.
Give her her personal Bible to say their system is working like clockwork. They don't have to do nothing more. We have these idiots right where we want them, lost and destroyed.
And now that she did that, she filed for an appeal to have her sentence shorter, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So rather than serve her 10, she's going to serve what, 2?
And they threw out the civil.
Yes, throughout the lawsuit. The family's not getting no money.
Exactly. The judge was like, well, since y'all loved her so much,
right,
your brother obviously wouldn't want her to be hurt financially. So
that's right.
You were not going to just threw the whole thing out. Black people are worse than cockroaches sometimes.
Hey,
I don't know what's wrong
Bishop,
with us.
they get mad when we say black people. And the Most High is making a separation between the Israelites and black people. Mm-hmm. You black people, there's no hope for you. Your hope is in Obama, voting, getting money. And the bishop is showing you in the scriptures that there's principalities and dark forces in high places that can only be taken down by God.
That's right.
There's no man on earth that can right the wrongs that we are facing every single day. But they want you in the church praying and singing and voting and hoping and idolizing basketball players instead of waiting for your Savior to come. They got you right where they want you.
Exactly. That's it. Back to Revelation 6. And we are at verse 11, right?
Yes, sir. The book of Revelation, chapter 6, and verse 11. And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them, that they should rest yet for a little season.
We're in that little season right now. This is the time we're in. Go ahead.
Until their fellow servants also and their brethren.
So, yes, we're in the 5th seal. Go ahead.
That should be killed as they were.
So some of our people are going to be killed as they were. The brothers that stand up for righteousness will be killed. Go ahead. Go Go ahead.
should be fulfilled.
Read.
And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal.
Now the sixth seal has not come yet. As we read down, you're going to see what the sixth seal is. We're in the fifth seal, not the sixth. Go ahead.
And lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood.
Now, you see that part where it says, and lo, there was a great earthquake. That great earthquake, give me that precept, Revelation 11, 12 and 13. Revelation 11, verse 12 and 13 talks about the great earthquake. Verse 12 and 13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, in verse 11, chapter 11, verse 12.
Yeah, chapter 11, verse 12 and 13.
Verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying
this is
unto
talking
them,
about the elect that repent of their sins. Men, women, boy, girl. Go ahead.
come up hither.
Come up hither. This is what the church is called, the rapture. Go ahead.
And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud.
In a chariot. Go ahead.
And their enemies beheld
The
them.
nations are going to see us rise in these chariots. Go ahead.
And the same hour
The same hour, meaning the same exact time as we're taken up.
was there a great earthquake.
Was there what?
A great earthquake.
A great earthquake. This is what we read in Revelation 6. Go ahead.
And the 10th part of the city fell.
Now, let's go back. Let's go back. We were in Revelation 6 and 12 now.
The book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood.
Go ahead.
And the stars of heaven fell onto the earth.
That's talking about their satellites. What verse you at?
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
Even as a fig tree cast her untimely
So I want you to
figs.
pay attention to verse 13. The stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree cast her untimely figs. Go ahead.
When she is shaken of a mighty wind.
Read.
And the heaven departed as a scroll.
Now he says this is destruction, World War III. And the heaven departed as a scroll. That's that mushroom cloud. Go ahead.
When it is rolled together.
Uh-huh.
And every mountain and
Every
island.
mountain and island. So y'all living on them islands, God don't care if you in Jamaica Island, you in the Bahamas, you in Puerto Rico, you in Santo Domingo in Haiti. God don't care. It says in every island, what?
Were moved out of their places.
Bye-bye. Let's go back. I'm going to give you the precept for that. Isaiah 34, verse 4 and 5. Isaiah 34, verse 4 and 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
This is what we just read in Revelation 6. Go ahead.
And all their hosts shall fall down.
Their satellites shall fall down. Their jets shall fall down. Go ahead.
As the leaf falleth off from the vine.
Didn't we just read about that? Go ahead.
And as a falling fig from the fig tree.
We read the same thing in Revelation 6 about the sixth seal. So this is going, that's what I'm saying. It's saying the same thing. He's not saying nothing different. Go ahead.
For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
So this whole thing's about destruction of Idumea. That goes with the white horse, the red horse, the black horse, the pale horse. Then comes destruction. That's what's going to happen. Let's go back. And Idumea, that's the Greco-Roman word for Edom.
6 verse 14, 15.
You can read 14 again.
Verse 14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
Pause right there. Officer Noah, give me that video. We're going to explain this part here about they hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Watch this thing here. Just talk about them underground bunkers.
The federal government's ready for the moment of disaster. As mushroom clouds plume, key politicians and federal staffers
Wait, that's
will be
the
rushed
scroll.
underground.
What did it say? It said, and the heaven departed as a scroll. That's that mushroom effect right there. You're going back to the beginning again. Go ahead.
The federal government's ready for the moment of disaster. As mushroom clouds plume, key politicians and federal staffers would be rushed underground. The sites are prepared, humming along with daily activity right now and hidden from the public. If you're invited, you already know it. If not, you're sort of on your own. Some new facilities have been built up over the last few years, and
Wait,
Garrett
pause, I
Graff
gotta
found
say
one
something
by
real quick. There's a movie. I'm sorry, you might remember. You don't look at too many movies, so I ask him. You know, there's a movie where a big flood. You saw a big flood. They made these giant ships, and there was a lottery. 2012, and there was a lottery for people to come on. This guy was saying, he said, no, this is for key people in the government. This ain't for the average Negro, Latino on the street. You're gonna be ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You die. Go ahead.
accident. While writing about national security for Washingtonian magazine, Graff told NPR he came into possession of a federal employee's badge. On the back, when he flipped it around, it had driving directions. Google Maps showed nothing there, so Graff hopped in the car, and when he arrived at the site in West Virginia, he said, the road dead ends into the side of a mountain. There's this little guard shack, chain link fence, and then this set of concrete bunker doors beyond. This wasn't on a map, it wasn't found in government records, so the reporter started digging, and he turned up some fascinating information about some of those bunkers. The most famous, Raven Rock. Situated close to Camp David on the Maryland-Pennsylvania line, Raven Rock has been renovated recently, and it's ready to go at a moment's notice. It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every single day of the year. Graff explained to NPR, Raven Rock is inside a hollowed-out mountain, a freestanding city inside, made up of individual 3-story buildings. It has a fire department, police department, medical facilities, even a dining hall that serves 4 meals a day. After 9/11, Raven Rock was dramatically expanded, and today, it could hold as many as 5,000 people. For the overflow, more facilities are hidden around the country, some known, some secret.
Wow.
I caught up with Garrett.
Go ahead, y'all. So what are you going to say?
They got a police department down there, so these elite people, some of them going to be committing crimes. I guess they got to lock them up. I guess they got jail
That's
down
to
there,
make sure
too.
in case somebody find a way in. I'm telling you, it's in case a Negro find his or her way in. You're going to be dealt with. Yeah. Go ahead. We going to 322. Go ahead.
The government's secret plans. Some of it's cool. Some of it, honestly, is scary.
This is the history of the government's Cold War doomsday plans, sort of everything that would have happened during and after a nuclear attack, and the secret plans for how the U.S. government would rebuild afterwards. And while the book focuses a lot on the Cold War, these plans are all still now in effect. These are the same plans that would guide us if we ended up in a war with North Korea or with Russia today. So there is this whole network of bunkers around Washington, including one of the largest is Raven Rock, the title of the book, which is the mountain bunker in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, just over the state line from Camp David, the president's weekend retreat. And Raven Rock and Mount Leather, which is the civilian government bunker in Berryville, Virginia, are literally hollowed out mountains with small cities built inside, where the U.S. government would retreat in the event of an evacuation of Washington or a surprise attack. We have this whole network of helicopters and planes that would drop in, evacuate officials from across Washington, and evacuate them out to the mountains in these bunkers and dozens of others like them scattered around the rest of the United States.
Who would get in and who, we'd be sitting here today still, doesn't matter, but certain people that you might think would get in probably won't.
So one of the interesting aspects of this book is understanding just how
I was getting caught back up again. So go back to Revelation 6 and verse 15 again. We're done. We're almost done.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 15.
I'm showing you how the Bible is real. Go ahead.
And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
So the only bondman going in there is your servant. You want your slave might come with you. What are you going to say, Aithan?
Hey, that's Jeremiah 16 and 16.
Yeah.
Bishop, as you're bringing this out, the black people, this is entertainment to them. The people of God are scared as this is going out, but the black people, this is entertainment. How many of y'all ever saw that Twilight Zone episode? Some of y'all wasn't. I was a child when Twilight Zone came out, where the one man in the neighborhood built an underground bunker because he was scared that a nuclear war was going to come. And when the nuclear war, they finally got an alert that a nuclear war was coming. What they did to that man's house. They was beating down the door. They were saying, just let my children in, please. Come on, Dad. Are you going to let us die? The whole neighborhood was tearing his house apart to run down into that little place. He kept screaming out, it only holds 3 people. You need to go and run and hide. We laughing right now. But guess what? That's the reality. Y'all think this is really fun. Like I said, you black people, this is entertainment. This is real life. This is really going to happen to you because there's not going to be no place to run or hide. The white man got a designated place to run and hide. They've tested. They've been prepping since before we was born. They have underground cities. There's numerous books on it. You people, the only place that you can hide is where? Where's the only place you can hide? In the Bible with God.
Hey, you know what that proves, Asaph? The white man knows the Bible.
That's right. He knows it's true. He knows it's true because if anything, he will be trying to stop this. Okay, but he knows he cannot stop this because it's written in the book. So he's prepping for something that you people don't have. It's an easy escape for you. It don't cost you no money. All you got to do is just give your soul over to the Most High God.
Hey, Deacon, you just mentioned about where's black people going to go. The Bible got the answer. I'm just read one scripture, Bishop. You're going to like this. Psalms 91, first verse. Let's find out where we're going to be at.
The book of Psalms, chapter 91, and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
That's the place, under the shadow of the Almighty. Now, further proof that it's talking about away from these weapons. Read verse 5 and 6.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
In the secret place of the Most High, you shall not be afraid. Go ahead.
Nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Nor for the missile that flieth by day. Go ahead.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
Nor for the pestilence, diseases, and sickness and all that. That's going to come from these weapons and all that. Read.
Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
So that's the bombs. That's what the mushroom cloud and all of that. So where are we going to be at? In the secret place. So that's what it's talking about.
Then you notice
okay,
that.
Meaning the scriptures.
Yeah, you notice that why he made plan, God already have his own plan. But focus in verse 15. Read verse 15 one more time.
Psalms 91 verse.
Revelation.
Revelation chapter 6 and verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
They show you these bunk what they created for the elite. You understand? For the elite, they already tell you that your project dudes ain't coming in. Your gathers dude ain't coming in. Sister, the mattress would not help you underneath. You understand? Brother, you understand? Jumping in the bathroom, hiding in the bathroom, put water in your head ain't gonna help you that day. You understand? It's just gonna be in the shadow. You have to be in the shadow. You understand? God gonna protect you, man. Then your guys who's talking all that folly about wormwood, today you're not gonna cover your head that day. You understand?
Where we at, Cap?
That was verse 15.
Read 15 to 17 again.
Revelation 6, verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains.
Right. Go to Revelations 13, 16. It's the same people. We read it earlier. These ones are going to be hiding. So I talk about them people in the ghetto hiding, that have barbecues and eat chitlins and collard greens. Ain't talking about them. Talk about wealthy people, businessmen and women. 13 verse 16.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16.
Remember, it said bondman and free. Go ahead.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
Same as small and great, rich and poor. Same thing. Third world countries, free world. Go ahead.
To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell.
Those are the merchants. These are the businessmen and women. They're doing commerce. They're wealthy. They're elites. Go back to Revelation again, 6 and verse 15 again. These ones are going to be hiding.
Revelation 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich
Great
men.
and rich. Go ahead.
And the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman.
Third world country leaders. Go ahead.
And every free man.
Free world, Europe. Go ahead.
Hid themselves.
They hid themselves. These are the elite, the wealthy, not the people with ratchet, Negro woman and man. No, y'all gonna die here. You're gonna die straight up. And them nuclear bombs are as hot as the surface of the sun. You know, I'm not gonna stop that. No mountain's going to stop that at all. They said bombs now can destroy lands as large as Texas and France. It says it erases the land. Not something's left. It's gone. That's why it said in Isaiah. It says the islands will be moved out of the way. There'll be no land there. It'll just be water. Hot, boiling water with burnt fish. And burnt submarines and burnt sailors.
So Deacon Nathan, you telling me that when you saying that there's going to be no place for the sisters or the brothers, ain't right? That means the 911 is over.
Right. And there's no flying gin or vodka falling from the sky. Right. It's a wormwood. It's not in the Bible.
Their welfare system is over. Yeah. You understand? Everything that they allowed the black woman to have a big mouth, that day is going to be over.
That's done.
Wow.
One more. We read Isaiah 2, verse 19. Let's see what he's quoting from. John got this from Isaiah. Isaiah saw a lot of stuff. I'm surprised he didn't lose his mind. Because everything that John in Revelation, you read in Isaiah. Isaiah 2, verse 19 and down. It's like 3 verses.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks. And it's
read verse 17, then jump to verse 19. I'm sorry.
Verse 17.
Going into Edom again.
And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down.
That's his pride being brought low, falling down. Go ahead.
And the haughtiness of men shall be made low.
All the power they had that they gained that great swords will be brought down to nothing. They're going to lose all their power. The satellites, technology it's going to be completely destroyed. No power at all. Go ahead.
And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
Only God will be exalted in that day. They cannot stop him. Jump down to verse 19.
Verse 19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth.
You saw that on video. Go ahead. The caves of the earth. Go ahead.
For fear of the Lord.
Running from God. That's what it's saying. Go ahead.
And for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
When he allows those bombs to drop. When he shows up here and shakes the earth himself. Go ahead.
In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats.
Right. Now all of a sudden they're going to try to rely on their gods to save them. They ain't going to save them.
Are they going to be eating bats and getting the coronavirus?
The coronavirus, Heineken virus, Bud Light virus, whatever the hell it is.
Then you notice that day, bro. That day they're all going to clap their hands and underneath the bunker. When they get out, they're going to see pure black men.
Right.
What happened to black people? Why they don't get burned? No, they're coming for you.
They're knocking on the mountain door, knocking on the door. Verse 21.
Verse 21. To go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
Verse 22. Watch this.
Verse 22. Cease ye from man.
Don't rely on the white man to save you. Cease ye from man. Go ahead.
Whose breath is in his nostrils.
Who can die just like you. Go ahead.
For wherein is he to be accounted of?
Because he's gone. He'll be dead along with you for relying on him.
All praises. Go back to Revelation 6 and we're going to close it out 15 down.
The book of Revelation chapter 6 verse 15 again. And the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lord of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come. Who shall be able to stand?
So let the congregation say, Amen.
Amen.
All praises.
Amen.
Hey, y'all listen, man. I love that you brothers And a lot of you brothers and sisters here, and you all think it's a light thing going over Revelations, bringing like what the bishop just did. That's not a light thing, man. You understand? You are getting knowledge and understanding and wisdom that been hid for centuries, man. You understand? So, hey, I want you to go to Amos. Read Amos 3 and 7. You know? Amos 3 and 7, because if you go to any one of these, the churches, they not going to give you the understanding, a revelation, what just came out. You ain't going to find this understanding no way on the planet Earth. You understand? But read this for me.
The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Revelations is that whole book is about parables and secrets that the Most High got inside here. You know? And what does the Lord does? Read that again.
But he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
So you all know who the prophets is. The prophets is back on the earth today. Right. You understand? The prophets is back on the earth today to go through Revelations and explain it so plain. You understand, where even a babe could understand it? We know that the prophets is back on the earth today. You know, that's why when Bishop, you are brought out concerning the pale horse. The black horse. You understand, with the unjust scale and so forth. You know, you think they are not listening right now and seeing, you know, they seen what we are bringing out in the scriptures, the prophecies and so forth. You know, the same thing they did to these leaders of these countries. You think they're not going to try to do it to us? You know, but the thing is would you all support us, or would you all turn your back on us when they come for us? You understand? What would you all do? Gaddafi people, a lot of them turn on him. You know? All them leaders, they people, that's their job, to make the people turn against you. You know? So would you all stand for us when they come for us? Or would you all stand for us, or would you all turn your back on us, man?
Yeah,
you know?
Yo, Deacon, that did that to Christ, man. Christ prophesied of that thing. I mean, a lot of people here, like I said earlier in the noon class, then you see them wearing fringes. You understand? That don't mean they are real brothers, real sisters. You understand? A lot of demonic spirits surround us as we speak. But to come to Revelation and understand as plain it is this, how the bishop break it down. Listen, man. You see every word you read in the Bible, they're going to do just that. We learned that today. You understand? They're not going to skip a tone. They're not going to miss a tone. They're going to follow it as it is written, man. Because God said, you remember it said that power was given to them to do this. The power was given to them to do that. You understand? Everything God said, that's what these men going to do. He's not going to go outside and do his own thing. You guys have to understand this thing here is God set it up like that just because, you understand, for your guys who lost hope, today should be your hope bill come right back up. You understand? For your guys who don't have enough faith, today should be that day your faith be stronger, man. These people, man, don't worry about it. Wherever they come for us, don't worry. I'll see you again. You understand? They're just killing the flesh. That's it. They don't have power over your spirit, man, your soul. Always remember that, man. Don't give these people no power over the damn thing. They're not going to do a damn thing unless the Lord give him power to do it, man.
So I know we got some agent listening. We got some agent in here. This is what you're going to put your note today for your superior. Christ is coming for you.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.